Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to talk about some of the headlines coming out of the Tennessee Titans OTAs. That is correct. OTAs have begun for not only the Tennessee Titans, but I think at this point, all the teams in the NFL. And, this is a time where, they're really stretching out the NFL schedule, which some people love. You get NFL news all year long, so you can talk about your team all year long. So I figured I might as well come on here and talk about some of the headlines that are coming out of OTAs. To be honest with you, there's not much here. There's really not much here, but I wanted to make at least one video on the Titans this week relevant to whatever news is coming out. So this is going to be it. Really, there's going to be some speculation here and then things that we expected to hear. But, we might as well just come on here and talk about it. If you want to have any super chats in the comments or in the live chat, go ahead and send those. And I might even answer some comments as well. So OTAs are underway. And I think the biggest headline out of OTAs is that free safety Kevin Byard for the Tennessee Titans has been absent for OTAs thus far. Now, head coach Mike Vrabel made it pretty clear that this is not a big deal, that he even saw Kevin Byard at the golf course over the weekend. I wonder which golf course that was. I need to hang out there more often. And that they had a great conversation, and he expects to see him whenever these turn into mandatory workouts, and that everything is Gucci. Now, as you remember, I think it was maybe a week or two before the draft, the news came out that the Tennessee Titans asked Kevin Byard, maybe it's even like a month before the draft, but the news came out that the Tennessee Titans had asked Kevin Byard to take a pay cut, and that he was not happy about the Tennessee Titans asking him to take a pay cut. And that potentially he was being shopped. Now, we never got definitive word that he was being shopped. And we did get definitive word that he was not asking to be traded or released because he was so offended that they asked him to take a pay cut. Now, I do believe that last part. I do definitely believe for a fact that they asked him to take a pay cut. I think even Ray Carthon confirmed that and absolutely believed that he did not. He definitely declined. He definitely refused to. I don't know how upset that made him. Now, I was being argued with on Twitter about this, and people were telling me, look, MJ, if it were you and you were high performing at your job, of which I am, by the way, and your job asked you to take a pay cut, would you be offended? Personally, I might, but I would say no, and then I still have to show up to work. Now, it's a different example because this was not mandatory. He doesn't have to show up to work. This isn't a mandatory thing for him to show up to. Would I then low-key start looking elsewhere for other opportunities whenever my contract ends up? Yes. Now, this is a different scenario because I'm not under contract. I can leave whenever the hell I want to, send in my 2-week resignation. Hell, I even have to do that. Just out of courtesy, I could do that. I move on whenever the hell I want to. Byard technically can't just move on. He's under contract. He has to get traded or released first. So, different scenarios. So, when you look at the NFL, though, I don't understand why he would be so offended by the Tennessee Titans asking him to take a pay cut that he would then take it out on the team by not showing up at OTAs, and then let's see if he doesn't also show up for mandatory workouts as well. That doesn't make sense to me because in the NFL, players are asked to take pay cuts all the time. Literally this week, Carl Lawson, defensive end for the Jets, maybe it was late last week, was asked to take a pay cut, and he actually said yes because he's actually a player that was kind of on the verge of being cut because he's kind of being overpaid right now for what they got him for. Patrick Mahomes, this offseason, I don't know if they asked him, but he took a pay cut, a $9 million pay cut. Now, he's getting paid $45 million a year, so he can afford to, but he was like, you know what? If it's going to help alleviate the Chiefs cap, I'm going to take a pay cut. Michael Pierce, defensive tackle for the Ravens, pay cut. Who else took a pay cut? There's also various other players. Aaron Jones, running back for the Green Bay Packers, pay cut. Players take pay cuts all the time. So I just don't understand why Kevin Byard would be so offended that he was asked to take a pay cut that he'd be like, you know what? I think I'm out. I'm done with this team. Like, I'm going to be so disrespectful to not show up. Now, again, he doesn't have to show up for this. But what the concerning aspect of it is he has historically shown up for this period, and now he's not. And he is, as of this moment, because Jeffrey Simmons is still only 25, he is literally still the leader of this defense. He is the most impactful veteran presence on this defense until Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, come on, at least until he's like 26 or 27. He's 25. So Kevin Byard at 29 years old is still, is that veteran presence, that veteran leader right now. As of for right now. Now, having him not being there isn't great. I mean, it's not a huge deal. He could show up later, again, in the mandatories in June and then be there in training camp in July, and then, no one's really going to care. But would I like to have him out there right now? Yes. So that we can go ahead and establish some sort of tone if we're trying to win games this year, which, apparently we're trying to do. And look, I'm going to root for us to win games until it's obvious that we're not going to, make the playoffs this year. So I'm still trying to do that. I know that's surprising to some of you, but I am still. So it's not great. And then meanwhile, we have Christian Fulton, who is not showing up for these OTAs either. And Fulton is a guy that is entering into a contract year and really on the verge of, you don't know if he's going to be re-signed or not. Right now, I'm leaning not. I think it would take a stellar year from him to be re-signed, and then he might price himself out. Because if he has such a great year, then now, unless if you want to franchise tag him, which they might do, they have a lot of money next year, he might then command, $15+ million on the market and leave here like Adoree Jackson, who I think ended up getting like maybe $12 or $13 million a year, maybe 14. So that could happen as well. So Fulton, it's not a great scenario. This is supposed to be our number one corner. And with Roger McCreary, yes, he was a high second-round pick last year. He had his struggles. He's ready to be a number one. Is Caleb Farley really going to stay healthy on the field? Sean Murphy-Bunting, good signing. Is he anywhere close to being a number one cornerback? No. So now the cornerback room is a little shaky. So with that said, now Elijah Molden is apparently transitioning to safety. Whoa, wait a minute. Let's slow that down. Now, I'm totally fine with that. The transition isn't definitive. He's doing both. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. Okay, I guess our cornerback depth is good. Sure. But it's not, but the cornerbacks aren't good. So, like, you can have good depth, but is any one of our quarterbacks good? Because I'm pretty sure we're trying out 3 decent guys. So I'm not so quick to move Elijah Molden anywhere. Because if Fulton gets hurt again, then it's McCreary opposite of whom? Murphy Bunting or Elijah Molden? Or do you keep Elijah Molden in the nickel? So, I still think Elijah Molden should play a decent amount of corner. And if you want another safety, go sign another safety. There's actually a decent amount of safeties on the market. You can actually go get a safety on the market. So I'm fine with him being versatile. I think having versatile quarterbacks is fine. Do not get me wrong on that. But people are saying, wow, no, just transition them. Yeah, I'm down for the transition. I'm like, wait a minute. Why do you have faith in our cornerbacks? We didn't take a quarterback this year. We signed Murphy Bunting, good. But Fulton, McCreary, Molden, Farley, and then, I don't know, I think we still have like Trey Avery. Whoa, who there? Are we absolutely convinced in? Because last I checked, it's nobody. And until it's anybody, I don't know if any of these quarterbacks should be transitioning anywhere, okay? So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that. But we'll see how that situation develops. So outside of that, we have some players that are shining good. Traylon Burks has come in. He looks leaner. He is leaner. I don't know what he's weighing. He hasn't said that, but he was like 225 last year. Apparently he's leaner. He's looking faster. He's looking better, more well-conditioned. Now, I'm not going to be a hater, but I have to call it out. It doesn't make sense because his excuse was, well, last year I wasn't used to the Nashville heat. So this offseason, I stayed in Nashville so that way I could get used to the Nashville heat so I could be well-conditioned for this time period. Now, sorry, Traylon, I like you. I got to call some BS because you're from Warren, Arkansas. It's literally like probably like 4 hours south west of here. It's the same climate. It's literally the same climate. So I don't know how you're in shape for Arkansas, where he grew up and went to college, and then you go to Tennessee, and oh my, it's so overwhelming. I looked it up. Our degrees are different, like 2 or 3 degrees every day, and the humidity's damn near the same. So I gotta call some BS on that. But, I just think he was out of shape last year. I think that's just what it is. I think he just wasn't ready for the NFL grind. That's what I believe. But he's ready for it now. Okay? So I think that's the truth. But at least he's ready for it now. Okay? It just took him a year to get used to it. He can use that as an excuse. Fine. That's your excuse. But he looks good now. And then Chigoziem Okonkwo, motivated, excited. He's been bringing great energy to camp. So that's been nice to see. Want to see that more out of Chigo Okonkwo, who we're all pretty much expecting a breakout season from. So that's also been nice to see. Outside of that, let's see. Is there anything? Oh, we also heard some quotes from Tim Kelly about, this offense. So Peter Skoronski has been working at both left tackle and left guard. And again, people, I'm fine with him playing left tackle. I think he can play left tackle. Maybe he's a better guard. But look, if he's a better left tackle than Andre Dillard, put him in there at left tackle, see what he can do as a rookie. If he's a great left tackle, great. We got a great left tackle with the 11th pick. That makes him even more valuable. And that makes us all more comfortable and feeling more worthy of the pick. Great. Just start the better play at left tackle. Start the worst one at guard. And if Dillard is an absolute disaster, then, I don't know, start Radens or whoever the hell needs to start there. But do not feel like you're indebted to Andre Dillard, despite you giving him this 3-year, $29 million contract that you should have gave to Nate Davis. You should have gave it to Nate Davis. But that's just where we are. So we just have to roll what we have right now. But he's getting looks at both of those positions there, and apparently he's looking good. So I like hearing that. In terms of the Malik Willis is still a story, which is, hey, it's wow, they really have done something here. He's still a story. He's still a thing. And it's very interesting from a national media perspective, because essentially what you see is on Twitter too, because Twitter is just a hellscape. It's a hellscape and a hell space, really. Which one is actually correct? Is it hellscape or hell space? I guess it's kind of both. But what you see is you just see these, casuals, people that did not watch, our team at all last season, and they don't know how bad he was. And, even me, I wanted to, support Malik Willis last year. And when we threw him in there, he was so bad to the point where I was like, okay, he stinks. So, and I'm not saying that, okay, he's going to stink forever, but he stinks right now. And that's why for me, the move was try to get Stroud or Young or punt on the year. That was me. They said, let's do in the middle. And let's draft Will Levis. So now we have to track both Malik Willis and Will Levis, instead of having to, because who knows? Look, again, if Willis, and he looks a little better, he looks a little more fluid, mechanics look a little better, maybe he's actually going to improve this year, and we'll never know. I don't know. And then what are we going to do with him? I don't know. Now we can use that third quarterback, and you can run some interesting packages with him as a running quarterback. Having that dynamic aspect in that offense is something that would be interesting. So now that you can have that third quarterback be active on game day, I think is interesting, and it will open up a role for him. So I think that's something certainly to look out for. So we'll continue to track that for Malik Willis. So Will Levis, let's get to Will Levis. So I didn't hear much about Levis. We saw a couple videos in the rookie minicamp, which, by the way, one of which was one of the wild throws that got everyone excited. And then Mike Vrabel told everyone, I didn't even like him making that throw. We usually would want him to make a safer throw instead of he made a throw of the middle. It wasn't the rushing to the sideline throw. It wasn't that one, but it was another throw that he made over the middle that wowed a lot of people. And then Mike Vrabel was like, that honestly was a bad decision. It would have been picked off if he was facing NFL caliber talent. So there you go. And apparently, and this is according to one, Paul Kuharsky, and two, Greg Arias, he's been a little inconsistent with the accuracy, particularly when it comes to his touch on shorter throws, which I saw a little bit on tape. Really, his accuracy everywhere. That's more of my concern, and really just his timing when it comes to some of these throws and his decision making when it comes to these turnovers, really. So seeing that, but also seeing, his quick release and the pop of the arm and all of that. So this is what you're going to get. You're going to get both sides, and I don't want anyone to overreact to either side. So whenever it's going to be very easy because you're going to have another highlight play or highlight plays, and then people are going to post it on Twitter and then say, look at this throw by Will Levis on Twitter. And they're not going to show you, oh, wait a minute, he threw it to the ground when he was supposed to throwing it in the flat to Derrick Henry or Ty J. Spears. And you'll never see number two. You only see number one because they're trying to create hype, and that's their job, and, whatever. That's fine. They can do that. But just make sure you're keeping a level head here. Level on Levis. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking you to do, and I know that's difficult for a lot of people to do, but that's all I'm asking you to do. So that's it on Levis. That's it on Willis. Tannehill still like Tannehill. Not really much to discuss there. Luckily, everyone's still healthy. Everyone's going to be healthy. I really don't think we're going to get anything really definitively newsworthy out of this team until guys, I don't think you're going to get anything out of this team until mid-June, late June. So I'm going to come on here once a week, to make some sort of an update, but I wouldn't expect any moves. I wouldn't expect any signings. People are upset that we didn't sign Brandon McManus. I mean, could we have? Sure. I think they like, Klubnik and Wolf right now. So, hey, would McManus have been a fine signing? Sure. I'm not crying about it. I will cry about it if we get to the season and whatever kicker we have in there stinks. Then I'll cry about it. Right now, I don't know anything about Klubnik. So, or Wolf. I don't know. So maybe and apparently Wolf has looked great. So until they don't look great and until it's obvious that we really need a kicker, I don't care that much yet. Right? I don't care that much yet. But if I hear reports and I hear things that these guys are really struggling in camp and they're really having a problem, then it would be an issue. But as of right now, I don't think it is that bad. So, with all of that said, I think those are the main headlines right now out of this first week of OTAs for the Tennessee Titans here in May. What are your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans OTA headlines thus far? Comment down below. I want to know. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.